Hi, my name is Faith Cleary, and today in this DVD I'm going to show you how to create a realistic pet portrait. This method is done with dimensional applique and thread sketching. First, I'd like to just talk to you about the items that you'll need for this project. First, you'll need a photograph of your pet. You'll need a digital camera to take a lot of photos. And you'll need vellum tracing paper. I like to use a heavyweight vellum tracing paper. This is 55 pounds because with tracing paper there's too much tooth to it and it's white and it's very hard when you go to trace your pet's photograph to trace it on a tracing paper. So make sure you use a vellum. Next, I like to use Heat and Bond Light. It's very good to use for this project because we're using a lot of layers and it's a very good fusible, but it's not too thick and it won't gum up your needle. I also like to use warm and white cotton batting. This is a very nice batting because it's low loft, it's flat, but it gives us enough dimension that when we go to thread sketch on top of it, it gives us a nice dimensional effect. And then I like to use a stabilizer that's a mid-weight stabilizer. It's Pellon 910. This has been the most successful stabilizer I've tried. If you use a heavy stabilizer, your layers become too thick and it's too hard to sew through them. Also, you'll want to have a large number of different colored Sharpies on hand. I use these when I'm doing my what I call an applique roadmap, which I'll show you later, but that's helpful for keeping you straight on which pieces of applique go where. I also like to use what's called a Helix combo circle. This is an architectural tool that you can find at craft stores in the architectural section. And we'll use this to get perfectly round circles for our pet's eyes. It's a great way to form those circles and a little bit of a great tip to use when doing that. Also, I like to use the embroidery sewing needles. I like to use a 90 weight because it sews through all the layers that we'll be doing, and it just has a very nice sharp point to the needle that is good for this project. When looking for your threads, this is the fun part, searching for the different types of threads. I use a lot of Coats & Clark threads because they have a large number of color variations. I also use Gutermann. Gutermann has a lot of great pet colors. I'm sure that they didn't design their thread with that in mind, but they do. They're very natural and beautiful colors. I also use Isocord for a nice sheen when I need it with eyes or just for a speckled effect on a dog's nose. And I also like to use these scissors that are in close cutting to the piece that you'll be sewing when you have to snip the thread. This is good because it'll clip right close to your fabric without damaging your fabric. And last, what I like to use is a white acrylic paint. I like to add the highlight of the eye after I've sewn the portrait because that's what brings your pet to life. In order to do this, you'll need a very small brush. At the tip, it's very small. Don't use a natural hair brush, use a synthetic. And the number on this brush is a 5/0. And remember when using this brush to treat it as if it were a pencil. And that will help you with the best technique in order to get the highlight of the eyes. So in our next chapter, I'll be talking about the best photograph to use when doing this project.